Welcome to the deep dive. You sent us down quite the rabbit hole this time with a word that feels so simple. Morning.
Yeah, it seems simple on the surface, doesn't it?
Exactly. You might be thinking, really, a whole deep dive on morning? But honestly, get ready. This everyday idea, it has layers you probably didn't expect.
That's absolutely right. We've used the Wikipedia entry for morning as our jumping off point, and it's fascinating how just this one word connects to so much. Language history, cultural stuff, planets, even our own biology.
Okay, let's start with the basics then. What is morning? Really, it feels obvious, but maybe the definition is a bit more slippery than we think.
It is, yeah. The source highlights two main ways people define it. First, there's the period from sunrise to noon. That's
Yeah.
probably what most of us think of first.
Okay, the classic
But
idea.
then there's also the definition covering the time between midnight and noon. What's interesting right away is that first one, sunrise to noon, doesn't
But,
have a precise start time.
how so?
Well, when does morning actually start at sunrise? It's gradual, isn't it? And
Yeah.
the exact timing, it changes all the time depending on, like, your latitude, the season.
Okay, so the fact that even the start of our day isn't like a fixed point everywhere shows how much our environment shapes our sense of time.
Exactly. It's fluid, geographically dependent.
Hmm.
But the Wikipedia entry does say there's a clear endpoint for both definitions, actually.
And that is,
Noon. That's the definitive end. Morning stops, afternoon begins. That seems pretty solid.
okay,
And it's interesting, the original meaning of morning was apparently much more tied just to the actual sight of the sunrise.
makes sense. Okay, so the word itself, let's dig into that. Where does morning come from? What can, its history tell us?
Right, the etymology. It's pretty neat, actually. Both morning and tomorrow, they come from the same Middle English word, morwaning.
Oh, really? Both of them?
Yeah. It eventually changed to Morwain, then Morwain, and then it kind of branched off. We got morrow, which we don't use much now except poetically,
Hmm.
and morning.
So that split is interesting. English did something different there compared to some other languages, didn't it?
It did, yeah. Unlike English, languages like Dutch, Scots, German, they use just one word, morgen, and it means both morning and tomorrow.
Wow. So
Yep.
they keep that connection.
Exactly. It suggests maybe a closer link, culturally speaking, between the dawn happening now and thinking about the next day.
Yeah.
Perhaps, a less segmented view of time than we have in English.
Ah, that really makes you think, doesn't it? Okay, so morning isn't just time or a word. It clearly has cultural significance, too.
Oh, definitely. The information we looked at mentions morning prayer. It's a big thing in, various religions. Like in Christianity, specific prayers, parts of the liturgy, the hours happen in the morning.
So it's a time for reflection, spirituality.
For many, yes.
Yes.
Historically and today, it shows the value people place on that part of the day.
And then there's something way more everyday. Morning greetings, we all say good morning, but when is it actually the right time? Is there a rule?
Huh. Well, it's surprisingly flexible, socially speaking. The source points out that what feels like morning for a greeting can be pretty personal,
Mhm.
often just tied to when someone wakes up.
Right. If you work nights, your morning could be 4 p.m.
Pretty much. But there are general guidelines. In English-speaking places, good morning is usually seen as okay from maybe 3 a.m., somewhere around there, all the way up till noon.
3 a.m. That feels super early for a good morning, but I guess it works if someone's, just starting their shift or something. What about just saying morning, the short version?
Yeah, morning is common, informal. But interestingly, the source says it's only a greeting, never a farewell. You wouldn't say morning when leaving, like you might say goodnight.
Oh, good point. Never thought of that.
And, adding a last name, good morning, Mr. Smith, just adds that touch of respect in more formal situations. Pretty standard stuff.
Okay. Now, thinking about our lives today, electricity, artificial light everywhere, has that changed how we think about morning?
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm.
Electricity has kind of decoupled morning from sunrise for a lot of us, hasn't it? For many people now, morning just means the time after they wake up. Doesn't matter if it's dawn or, 10 a.m.
Yeah, we're less tied to the sun defining the start of our personal day.
Definitely less tied to that natural light cycle.
Okay, so language, culture, modern habits. Let's look up. To the stars. What about astronomy and morning?
Right. Yeah, this is cool. There's something called the heliacal rising of a star. That's when a star first reappears just before sunrise after being hidden by the sun's glare for a while. A big deal in ancient astronomy.
Okay.
And maybe surprisingly, morning is actually a great time to see certain things up there, even though it's getting lighter.
Like what, for instance?
Well, planets like Venus and Mercury, their orbits are inside ours, so they stick close to the sun in our sky. Often, the best time to spot them is just before sunrise or just after sunset. And when Venus is up in the east before the sun, that's the famous morning star.
Ah, right, the morning star.
And comets, too. The source mentions that as comets get closer to the sun, their tails get bigger, brighter because of the solar radiation. So the early morning sky can be prime comet hunting time.
I never really connected those timings before, that the best views line up with our idea of morning, and morning twilight is useful too.
Exactly. Astronomers use that dim light, morning and evening twilight, to look for asteroids, specifically near-Earth asteroids that orbit inside Earth's orbit. They're hard to see otherwise.
Makes sense against the glare.
And one more for those of you listening in mid-latitudes around the time of the autumn equinox. Look east before dawn. You might see the zodiacal light. It's this faint, kind of eerie glow. Sunlight scattering off dust in the solar system. Best seen then.
Wow. So morning isn't just us waking up, it's a key window for watching the cosmos too. Okay, shifting gears big time now. The Wikipedia entry talks about our genes and morning.
Yes. Our internal clocks. There's this gene called period 3 or PER3. It's important for regulating our sleep-wake cycles. And it comes in basically two main versions, a long one and a short one.
And these different versions explain why some of us jump out of bed ready to go, while others struggle, the early birds and night owls.
Research does suggest a link, yeah. It seems people with the long version of that gene are often more likely to be morning people, feel sharpest early on.
Okay.
And folks with the short variant, they tend to lean more towards the evening, feel more awake, more productive later in the day.
So it's not just habit or laziness. There's actually a genetic component.
Seems like it. It gives a biological basis for why we have these different preferences for sleep timing and when we feel our best. It's not all just willpower, There's some biology at play.
That's really interesting. Explains a lot about different chronotypes. Okay, finally, the entry just touches on a couple of other related things.
Just briefly, yeah. It mentions crepuscular animals. Those are the ones active mainly during twilight, so
Yeah.
dawn and dusk. Their whole activity pattern is built around those low-light times.
Like rabbits or deer sometimes.
Yeah, animals like that. And then there's the morning glory cloud.
Yeah.
It's this really spectacular, long, rolling cloud formation. Quite rare, and it typically forms, as the name suggests, in the morning, often in specific coastal areas.
Okay, got it. So bringing this all back, this word morning, which feels so basic, it really opens up into, well, a huge range of things.
It really does. We've gone from definitions and word origins through culture, astronomy, even down to our genes.
It shows how interconnected everything is, doesn't it? How even the most common words can hold so much meaning if you do a deep dive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Layers upon layers.
So thinking about all this, the shifting definitions, the language links, the rituals, the planets, our own biology, how does your personal sense of morning sit now? Did anything we talked about surprise you or maybe change how you think about that time of day? Definitely something to mull over as you go about your... mull over time it is for you right now. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.